And we are live with the first quarterfinals matchup of the day featuring VWS Gaming dealing with the angry Pikachus here. Both teams set up and ready to ban out as hell the first ban of the day. Giannis, the second one to follow up here, Shadow Boy.
Yeah, I think that Giannis is a ban that's sometimes underlooked at. I think that's the right word for this. But basically, I think more people should ban Janus a bit more often is what I'm suggesting. He's just so hard to out-rotate as a mid laner. It's really difficult to actually keep up with a Janus when it comes to, you know, actually providing a good gank in comparison to him. So he's going to be taken off the table. However, VW Gaming elected to pick up someone called left Khepri over to Angry Pikachus, and they've got Khepri Thor. So that's already shaping up to be a really strong team.
Khepri and Thor going to be a completely monstrous lineup to deal with here, but VWS Gaming responding with a Sun Wukong and a HoYi being hovered on right now could go on for the lock. And this one's FleuryQ. Still has to pick a god as well, but we got plenty of time for this to be decided here. Wouldn't be surprised with the HoYi lock-in, though, as that ADC has surged onto the scene since some recent patches. Here we go, HoYi and Geb, the lock-in for VWS.
Yeah, Geb is a pretty good counter pick towards, not counter pick, but a good response pick is better for the support role there. He's going to offer not the revival per se, but he's going to have that shield. So that's going to leave a lot of room for HoYi to do his damage, do his thing, and get out of some CC. Aphrodite is going to be locked in almost instantly by Angry Pikachus. So we're going right back to that healer comp mindset where they do not want to give up the late game by any means. They want to go ahead, lock that one down, and not have any questions about it.
And some we're going to see if some team has the way to respond with any kind of way to deal with the anti-healing, and some way to deal with the fact that Aphrodite can provide that absolute immunity to anybody she targets with her kiss. So VWS going to have a pretty difficult ball to deal with in their court right now, but Wlfy's the banner from the Angry Pikachus here. Looking forward to this final and third banner from VWS here.
So there we go. We're going to see the Wlfy ban out there. Meanwhile, over on VW Gaming, Hell is banned.
Freya, actually.
Oh, Freya, my apologies. So Freya was banned out. So basically taking away that ADC option. However, Angry Pikachu elects to pick up a different hyper carry ADC. So Aphrodite plus Khepri equals, I don't think anyone is going to die on that team.
Yeah, it's going to be so difficult to actually lock on a target and kill one off. Especially a late-game hypercarry like this. VWS Gaming are going to need to shut this game down as soon as they can, so I'm expecting some early-game pressure gods here from VWS as their final few pickups here. Somebody who takes off at level 5 or before it, so an Isis, especially since isn't banned, would be a possibility here. And Odin, that's one way to bring the early-game devastation to a team if you want to.
Yeah, Odin is going to bring in that anti-heal. He was actually one of the people who I'm surprised they didn't ban out, given the circumstance that they have the Aphrodite on their team. So really interesting to see, but nonetheless, this is probably going to be the make or break point for VW Gaming, is how well they use that Odin cage to really isolate certain people in a fight and make big plays happen for themselves. And I think that if VW Gaming does it correctly, then they could easily end up counteracting this, like, no-die team comp that Angry Pikachu has so far. But Angry Pikachu still need one last pick. It looks like it's going to be Scylla, so Aphrodite is going to be the soul laner, while Scylla is going to be that bursty mage that they use. And I'm a Monster can possibly be enough to get the job done for Angry Pikachu's in terms of damage potential.
It is a ton of damage being brought here by the Angry Pikachus. You have Thor for the early game, and once we roll onto the late game, Xbalanque and Scylla will be the terrors of the night, it seems here. They're going to be so difficult for VWS Gaming to deal with. So, like I said, VWS Gaming, once again, have a time bomb on their hands to handle here, and if they can't take care of it quick enough, it, per usual, is going to blow up right in their faces here. But at least this one will be something you can actually deal with here, thanks to having an Odin on their side.
Yeah, so right now it looks like these team comps are pretty much built to deal with each other in a certain sense. I think that Angry Pikachus have a bit of a better team fight presence just out of all the survivability. You're going to basically have to do a lot more on VW Gaming to make a better stance against Angry Pikachus. But I think VW also has a very, very powerful laning team themselves. I think Wukong should be relatively okay when dealing with Aphrodite in certain instances, and if Odin gets some good ganks on her, then that's going to be very helpful. So we'll have to wait and see, because only time will tell, and we can't exactly predict everything for this match. So we'll be back after this timer. You guys stay tuned. I think this one's probably going to be one of the best ones of the day so far.
And we are live with the first quarterfinal matchup of the day, featuring VWS facing down against the angry Pikachus. Sorry for the delay, there was a pause to open the game, so I decided to wait on through that rather than bring you guys the multiple micro pauses that may or may not have made spectator freak out on us.
But yeah, putting that aside, taking a look at the builds, everything seems a bit, everything seems normal. Interesting to see that Xbalanque went the Charge Morningstar start, just because a couple of people have been favoring different instances here and there, so it's been all around a back and forth scenario for AD carry, which used to be pretty static in terms of how you build it.
Yeah, it's been interesting seeing some of the variety of builds we've seen these AD carries go for, especially earlier on in the game, and I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the other ones and how they play out the later these games go. But moving down here, we do have the camps being started up here. No oddball or interesting starts here, and no early invades coming out here from VWS or Angry Pikachu. So far, a fairly safe game to open up here.
Yeah, nobody really can afford to go for invades without information, and realistically speaking, Angry Pikachu are the only ones who have the good displacement ability for an invade. So I don't necessarily see anybody else willing to do anything. I don't see VWS being able to do an invade.
I think they got the closest thing to a potential for it, but they haven't set up for the information for it. And Angry Pikachu, most of the invades they could go for here would be way too risky to even bother fighting, I'd say. I think it's just way too much threat potential from BWS for them to actually invade outside of Angry Pikachu.
So the mid camps are going to be split, and I kind of want to see the rotation from Thor early on over into the dual lane, to be quite honest. I think that they have a good potential there with the Khepri and Xbalanque, but Khepri is going to look for some damage onto this Wlfy. Xbalanque not doing so hot just yet.
And not doing hot just yet, but he's going to take a minute to scale up, so we're going to let Xbalanque just work on through this pressure here. They do have that slight level lead over VWS, but it's not going to matter too much as Zigox has caught back up, and so has JacobHL. So level 3s across the board from both teams, and Bushyyy has to play this one a little bit carefully here. As BigManTingz, safe most likely.
So over this only is one of the more interesting matchups of Aphrodite versus Xbalanque, or not Xbalanque, but Wukong, because Wukong does a lot of damage. He does a lot of damage to Aphrodite, and especially with her being as squishy as she is, he can't really deal with it. But one of the factors that lets Aphrodite win this matchup is that she can keep healing, and eventually, there's not going to be that option for Wukong because he's going to run out of pots.
At the same time, Aphrodite's going for that defensive starting build here. We have a Steel Mail bought out as the first item. Not Steel Mail. We have a Breastplate bought out as that first item here for Aphrodite, and that's going to let Aphrodite get fairly tanky, fairly fast, especially against physical damage. It's one of the popular things we've seen as Darzer actually caught out with their Darzer, will manage to escape with a quick Sentinel here, but an almost first blood situation coming through from BWS, managed to just barely inch himself over to the wall and fly on over, but gotta play it safe as VWS. They've got way too much aggression here, so Darzer walks out the safe way and the long way, will end up losing out quite a few bits of these wave, but Pikachu doing a nice job of trying to keep these minions out of the tower.
So meanwhile, over in the duo lane, it's just again a back and forth, so very passive start. I mean, you take a brief moment to consider the fact that we've seen nothing but action all day, and now you're looking at the map and almost all the buffs are cleared with the exception of some back harpies, so even those are about to be cleared out. So I'm really interested to see where Thor elects to go first, because that's the only thing left to do.
Yeah, it's the only thing they can realistically do here is now we're going to see things start to clear out a bit more. Sun Wukong trying to find some way to get extra aggressive now. He did back off, pick up a few buffs, and now blue buffs are running out here across the map. Ducky going to start running out of mana quite quickly as now he doesn't have those pods, doesn't have that blue buff. He's going to be in a bit of trouble here as Aphrodite's still sitting nice and healthy at full health right now. So unfortunately, there's going to be no real way to punish us as the soul lane will become a bit of a wet noodle fight once again.
I mean, yeah, once Aphrodite gets that Precipitate of Valor going, and once she's got a couple of levels on her 3, it becomes really difficult actually to kill her. So you kind of just go ahead and knock that up as a loss there in terms of not being able to kill her. You have to do it really early on and be really really persistent about it. I mean, like, kill after kill after kill on Aphrodite. If not, you're wasting your time. So
yeah, you need to get that pressure going fast and early. So at this point, I think VWS is just going to take the loss and just roll with the punches, like you said. Let Aphrodite scale up, but also get Sun Wukong going. Maybe try to make him work as an early rotator, possibly. But that remains to be seen here. And VWS actually went to go for some early game plays.
yeah, so Sun Wukong, best way he can make an impact for his team, more so than Aphrodite, is to rotate more efficiently. But I think it's going to be a little hard to do so. So I think Odin needed to make a bit more of an impact earlier on into Aphrodite if they wanted to really bully this one out. So that's unfortunate. But I think that, if anything, Wlfy and Geb are going to be able to do a lot of work over here in the duo lane. They've been very consistent. Wlfy is actually not ahead of Xbalanque, but they're still close, which is a good spot to be in. You need to start pushing your advantage now, and I think after Wlfy got his warrior tap by, that's where we're going to see most of the damage spike come out, especially once he starts shooting off a couple of his charged shots. Then we're going to basically see Wlfy take the lead there.
It's going to start scaling up quite nicely. Now that he's hit a nice little item spike there with that warrior tab by, so Bushyyy will be in a slight bit of danger, especially with these bounces hit like that. Bushyyy takes a huge stun there, and FleuryQ actually finds first blood onto the soul laner right there, and a quick gank right there, just keeping things fresh and interesting over there. That's going to be Sun Wukong off to that point that he needs to be, in a good start, and Odin making the impact.
Yeah, Odin, of course, using that cage to just cancel out all the healing, give Aphrodite no real options, and this is going to bring warrant to Aphrodite getting a combat blink in the nearby future. Now, a little disappointed to see that she was focusing the Shoes of Focus rather than getting the Breastplate of Valor first. The Breastplate of Valor gives more CDR, as well as the fact that it gives protections, but instead she elected to go for something else. Might have punished her a bit there.
It might punish her a bit, and might be punishable by Sun Wukong now, as he does have quite a nice little chunk of change here. But Pikachu up in the air, Pikachu back down with the Embledon, but Zigox, he's safe and sound here. We'll see the Wlfy go for the dive bomb, but they can't really put the pressure to the duo lane. That's a cooldown burn for absolutely nothing out of the Pikachu right there, as JacobHL simply walkbacks over. Not really too concerned, but his ADC should be nice and safe now. BigManTingz and Pikachu still sticking around in the party zone right here, as Wlfy will be joining the party as well. Gonna clear out the sentry ward around VWS, around the Wlfy right there. And VWS getting a nice little start in that Vision game war, and starting the fight early over Vision.
So having the advantage of Wlfy Vision is very important. That's also a key point where Thor likes to ult from, and he might actually try to do so soon, but no, instead they just counter ward, which is very good call by the angry Pikachus. But a little bit of a boxing match going on between the AD carries, and this might actually end up severely in favor of Wlfy if Geb got involved really heavily there, but he wasn't able to do so.
Oh, but the Midlands where the action is at right now is BigManTingz caught out in the middle of a deadly cage right there. Ducky trying to bring that last bit of damage. A great ultra coming through, and FleuryQ actually going to be the one that falls here. You'll see the blink on through from JacobHL. He might be a bit too late to the party here, as Ducky not really doing the work he needs. Darzer almost gets caught out in the massive detonation from Wlfy right there, but it's a bit too late for the damage coming through, and VWS falling short here, missing out as the angry Pikachus looking to fight over this mid camp here. JacobHL stunned out and locked behind a wall. Wlfy will fire on the sun. They're doing damage and burning out fast. That'll be the I'm a Monster missing, as the Pikachu will fall, but so does JacobHL in the end. Gonna be a full retreat from the angry Pikachus here, but they've gone 2 for 1 here. They might go even more, as now Ducky joining in. The bounce falls short from Zigox right there on the third strike, but it still hits onto the Bushyyy right there, forcing him to back off a bit. He's incredibly low right now, but he's got the shields coming through from BigManTingz right there, and that'll be a disengage coming through. VWS still rocking the lead, but the angry Pikachu firing back on all cylinders and getting some revenge kills.
Yeah, very good revenge kills there. As long as you stay relevant, that's just the best way to try and excel the game. And I think that at the end of the day, I would give that win a little bit more so towards not towards VWS, but towards Angry Pikachu, just because Aphrodite got one of those kills. So a bit interesting there. But over in the duo lane, however, Khepri is the target that they wanted to try and make a kill happen onto, and they didn't actually get much done there.
It didn't get much done at all, unfortunately, as Khepri, BigManTingz still working on just fine. Unfortunately, FleuryQ not able to find the pressure he needed with that cage right there, but they've still got plenty of time to make a few things work, but they will be running short on that resource before too long now. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Wlfy going to play his farm game, slide on through that wave, and clear it out quite easily. Solo lane has become that noodle fight here, as, well, JustLofes does have plenty of ways to keep himself healed up quite easily now, so But we're not going to see any pressure coming out there aside from a quick gank.
Just solo things. Yeah. So everyone's just clearing out the wave, and you know, I like the mentality of Angry Pikachus, where they know what their goal is. Their goal is to make it to the late game and win. But I think VWS is not playing as aggressively as they need to, because at the end of the day, Aphrodite plus Xbalanque plus Scylla plus Khepri is enough to usually win a lot of scenarios. And that being said, I don't see a huge win coming out from the guys on the side of VWS, given all that information.
They need to make something bigger happen here, and they still need to make something big happen. They've got a few more minutes before, well, Angry Pikachus really start to turn it up to 11 here, and if Angry Pikachus make it out of this early game even or only slightly behind, I could honestly consider it a win in the early game for them. I mean, just with their composition here.
Yeah, so there's a lot on the line for VWS here in terms of trying to get through some of this late game terror by giving themselves a better mid game and then going into the late game with some kind of advantage, hopefully enough to actually say, all right, we can win here.
Yeah, they need a bigger advantage of going into this mid game, which it's looking hard for them to find here, as Angry Pikachus have reached a very defensive and hard to break shell right now. So realistically, the Pikachus are in the solid spot here, getting some nice vision control here, cleaning up the Wlfy pit, and not letting VWS Gaming making these sneaky plays either.
Oh, but there it is.
Breaking out here, FleuryQ going for the play right now. We'll find Darzer with JacobHL, blinks in, finds a two-man cataclysm. The damage is coming through his holy will rain missiles and suns. A quick kill for Zigox right there will make things good, and now the rest of VWS, they've got the rest of Angry Pikachus trapped inside the worst place possible. A double kill for Zigox right there with a quick auto attack, and that's exactly what they need here. Wlfy setup. They don't care about the vision here. They've got control. And now JustLofes and TheBushyyy, they're going to try to make something happen here, but does Bushyyyy have the damage? Can they do it? Not likely here, as FleuryQ leaping forward, trying to set down the law and lay it down as hard as possible. That'll be the Darzer that's coming through. VWS gets a go up here, and no steal coming through, as Ducky looking to leap on over. A quick leap in from Zigox, trying to lock him down with the dive buff. Aegis coming out for JustLofes right there. But they're going to escape just fine aside of the Angry Pikachus, as VWS going on a full retreat, but they've got the advantage they want, and they pulled ahead to a nice, healthy 4,000 gold differential.
Man, oh man, you know, that's the other factor of the Odin cage, is keeping people in when you want to burst them down. And that set up such a beautiful amount of damage onto Scylla. It set up a lot of, you know, kind of separation. There's a huge list of things that just went wrong with that fight for Angry Pikachus, and so many things that went right for VWS Gaming. But yeah, this is the start of what they need. They need these kind of plays to happen if they want to be able to do something. Now, Odin nearly dies time of monster and actually survived with 10 health, so...
And 10 health, well, that's still alive at this point, so... Luckily, he's going to back off just fine and dandy here, but these are the plays that VWS needs to make plays like this. They need to set up in these tight corridors, excuse me, and they need to just trap Angry Pikachus apart from each other. Split them up, and just keep them caught inside these little tight corridors. I mean, the XP camp is the perfect place for them to execute these, because Zigox will rain death and destruction with his ultimate here. Wlfy, we know what a Nox can do if you're trapped inside of her AoEs for long enough, as they are devastating but easy to escape in most cases.
So taking a look at these builds for a second, it looks like the active choices are a lot of beads, but I'm not seeing a lot of blinks out of these guys. I mean, no blink on Scylla, which granted, she has a sentinel, but sometimes that's not enough. No blink on the Xbalanque, he can't escape with Rising Jaguar. So not really a lot of respect for the Odin ring so far by the guys on Angry Pikachus.
Yeah, they've got to start having some kind of answer to this. I mean, still at least it's their Sentinel out, but so far VWS Gaming have been forcing up the Sentinel before they find these engagements, so good play around these cooldowns, honestly. Ooh, actually though, Pikachu going up in the air, they're going to try to gank Zigox again, and he might not smell someone coming. Darkstone Knight's coming through, but Pikachu falling short once again. This is a complete deja vu moment, honestly, as there's a lot of... This is a big wasted pair of cooldowns right there.
So over in the duo lane, just a little bit of boxing, nothing necessarily happening just yet. However, a couple of rotations are looking to be made over towards the middle lane, as there are 4 members of Angry Pikachus just kind of chilling around there.
Yeah, just kind of chilling, waiting for somebody to step up a bit. But at this point, Angry Pikachus realize they're not really finding anything. They're going to back away from this one. VWS Gaming, though, resetting back to their farm phase. They know they've got the lead, but Angry Pikachus, they're not a team you can sit around and just farm against, even with a lead like this.
Oh yeah, like, a lot of people get this illusion that 3K gold at 13 minutes is a huge amount. That's very far from the truth.
Against some team comps, yeah, it's a pretty nice amount, especially if they're trying to play like the same style that VWS is playing. But the problem is, Angry Pikachu, this is a small amount compared to what they can do later. It's not enough to give them the big advantage they're going to want going into this mid game. It's not enough to actually give them that huge advantage in the late game. And so, like you said, Shadow, this is not a huge advantage at all from based on these team comps here.
Yeah, no, if anything, this is just a small little marginal lead that they can take a little bit of pride in. But if anything, they can do a lot more with it if they actually push the issue. And one of the ways they can do so would be to take this really dwindling tower over in the right side. So take a chapter from one of our prior teams' book where you basically make heavy rotations all over the map to push down these tier 1s.
You've got to be just you've got to be just like pushing that lead further and further against the Angry Pikachus here. They're trying to siege up against mid just for that extra tower pressure if they can get it, but unfortunately, the same problem for Angry Pikachus here. They have a line that's so hard to crack. It's a shell and a shield. You just can't push on through unless they find the miracle play like this one. Here they go, going for the fight here, but a beat's coming through from Darzer. He's not going to be locked down, but BigManTingz definitely will. He's still got the ultimate ticking on though, so he'll be escaping from this one. They might have made the play they want though, forcing him away from the tower. JacobHL caught out by the Pikachu here. Spin to win coming through, but the shield will stay alive. Bushyyy gets FleuryQ and a quick kill right there in his own cage. Now the push on through from the Angry Pikachu. This just went so far south and so sour for VWS that now their plan turning on its head, not striking the weakest point, but trying to push through one of these stronger fortified areas. This is going to give Angry Pikachus a good shot at the Gold Fury, a good shot at a gank, and something even more as long as they can get some of the stuff that follows up.
Yeah, they're a little bit undecisive about where to go just because they don't know exactly when the Gold Fury is coming up. They just see that last tick there. This is why you need to remember your exact timers, and this is why you need to stay with your teammates as Darzer is taken out while he was a little bit lagging behind his teammates.
And unfortunately, a good turnaround for the Angry Pikachu turns sour as well as they lose a teammate. Don't find anything in, well, indecisiveness is one of the killers of these teams, and it's a very, very quick killer, as we just saw right there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not decisive, if you don't have a coordinated strike, you end up getting punished for it really hard, actually. So that's one of the...
And right now, there's a big call that when he punches, the Pikachu dunks on in, but they're going to turn the fight around immediately. Bushyyy actually finds JacobHL on the first kill. Pikachu still has the ultimate taking on from BigManTingz right there. The fight over the Gold Fury, and Gold Fury loves being involved in this one, it seems, but she will reset back position. Angry Pikachu pick up a kill and pick up an escape route. Unfortunately, Shadow Boy there. So Gold Fury going to be disengaged off of as Pikachu starting to put up the pressure right now.
Yeah, Xbalanque coming down here. I don't know if he necessarily wants to try and steal that purple buff, but he's not going to be able to do so. So, still a 3K difference maintained. Still waiting to see whether or not the members of Angry Pikachus are going to go for this Gold Fury, and it looks like that is going to be the call. Khepri being the zoner for the team as Scylla coming in an awkward position. Is she going to go up into her ultimate is the question. She doesn't actually have it. No, she does actually have it. And someone calling force up into the air as he took quite a bit of damage. Khepri taking quite a bit of his own. Still no ultimate use from Scylla, who's just kind of chilling out. And the team of Angry Pikachus is so split up right now. There's no coordination with them as Thor is forced up into the air himself. And it looks like, yep, Scylla is going to be able to get out as she took a lot of damage. So, but Gold Fury is going to be started up now by VWS Gaming.
Yeah, but the ultimate from Darzer is still available here. They could go for the steal if they want to. They know Bushyy's around the corner. They know Darzer's waiting. That's why they've got Ducky doing what he can to defend. This time around, VWS Gaming do have the superior positioning here, so this should be a Gold Fury going their direction unless the miracle play comes through. BigManTingz waiting around the corner. In fact, Darzer instead is going to opt to go out this way. They're going to hand this one over to VWS Gaming and just go, alright, we'll try to scale up later. Now VWS will finally, after a long, drawn-out fight with surprisingly little blood here, but well, the blood might come now as Wlfy gets caught out here. A quick blink in from FleuryQ. This is going to be the fight breaking out because I'm catching on to two as the damage comes on through. We'll see the ultimate trigger on through onto BigManTingz right there. Pikachu will have his life saved right there as he's going to make a quick escape out the back with a hammer toss and a quick teleport. But Aphrodite's here to get the heals going. That's a major team fight engage. Burn from VWS right there. Angry Pikachu's still so short on ultimate stuff. As Pikachu caught out, he's going to be exploded in the bird bomb right there. As JustLofes, he's caught inside the middle of a rain of sun, a rain of terror. Zigox will secure his kill on the JustLofes right there. And just like that, there's no healing. There's no escape. and there's a great siege in the making here from VWS. As now this mid tower is going to be exploded, but they want more. FleuryQ leaping forward to make sure there's a distraction coming through. Angry Pikachus cannot fight back against this one, as a Gold Fury and a tier 1 tower going the way to VWS, and that's the advantage they want.
Yeah, and the tier 1 tower over on the right side of the map is not too far away from it. But I think that one of the big things I want to take away from that is you see how much more coordinated VWS Gaming is in comparison to the Angry Pikachus. Just take the Gold Fury, for example. Angry Pikachu started up the Gold Fury. They had, this kind of strategy of like, all right, we're gonna either, zone them out and take it, or we're gonna take the fight. And, at the end of the day, they didn't actually do anything at all, realistically speaking. They just kind of ended up, losing the Gold Fury as well as the fight overall, and there was nothing really, there's no real reason as to why. It was just an all-out, just organized effort. You had Scylla, who was holding on to her cooldowns. That's a big damage tool that you need to just go ahead and throw out there and hope for the best, rather than waiting for this dream. I call it the Poseidon syndrome. You basically are waiting for this dream circle of people that you can just crack in, and Scylla's kind of doing the same thing. But I think that if VWS keeps this pressure up, they can give themselves the lead we were talking about. However, we have seen games where Xbalanque just does Xbalanque things.
We've seen that happen before, and especially in the fact that we've got Darzer on the side playing that Scylla. They can make late game things happen, but once again, it's just that magical place on this, oh, the late game, we'll wait for the late game. You can't just sit around waiting for the late game. You've got to be coordinated. You've got to be organized in these fights, and you cannot afford to give up major fights like that. As the one thing we said that would just put this game in the bag for VWS was getting a major advantage. I think a 6,000, almost 7,000 experience difference and a 6K gold lead is going to be that major advantage going into 20 minutes here as we transition into the later stages of the mid game.
Oh yeah, they've been doing a fantastic job of pressing their advantage and keeping it pretty steady. They've got 2 tier 1 towers, a Gold Fury to their name, a couple of kills over their opponents. I mean, it's not anything phenomenal, but it's still steady. And now we see the initiation come out again. Question is, are they going to be able to get this Aphrodite, who's stuck in the middle of her Odin ring? And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Beast plus Aegis is going to keep her alive, and Undying Love, so she's going to actually be able to walk out. A couple of cooldowns used by VWS Gaming, and nothing really achieved there. So this is a little bit of a relief for Angry Pikachus. They might want to make something happen here, as they still have a lot of cooldowns of their own.
And they've still got a lot of ways into this fight, and VWS, they lost some of their main ways into this one now, but the Cataclysm's still good. It will find JustLofes, and now he's got no way out, no ultimate, but he does have a Khepri there. BigManTingz landing a big shot there at Pikachu Airport. Pikachu now on the ground of the Ampledon, but it looks like the Monster will not connect his Darzer, not finding his targets there, unfortunately. Got some all rooted inside of a big crush, but the crush not doing the damage at once here. Now there's no ultimate left. The damage is sticking for VWS Gaming right here, but the cage will fall, and now JustLofes can get the healing going, but the pressure has been made, and VWS now able to just ensue the onslaught here against the Angry Pikachus. The damage from Wukong's cudgel will be doing work as FleuryQ looking for the big shot, finds the big show as well, but he's rooted, he's kicked, and he's dead to rights under the tower here as Wlfy gonna get crushed by Darzer. Now the re-engage coming through from Angry Pikachu, and the fight's turning on its head. Their health bars are so low, but they're still making it work. The bounce goes the wrong direction. It's not the right direction they want. As Zigox caught out, he's alone, he's in the dark. The wall will land wrong side though, but it doesn't matter. Darzer is going to detonate the crush and take the kill. And a huge swing for the Angry Pikachus as they go 0 for 4 and a nice swing of kills. And now they want tower blood. Now they want more, and they're guaranteed to have it.
And this is the problem, is that there's just so much damage coming out, there's so much healing. You looked at that team fight, it was really long. That was like a 30-second fight, and now all of a sudden, most of them are back up to full health.
Yeah, and just like that, this is going to be a huge swing for the Angry Pikachus here as the gold lead has been minimized down to less than 4,000 now. They've got so much health ticking back on. The Gold Fury is alive once again, and BigManTingz, he's going to just back, make the quick rotation, and let his team burst onto the Gold Fury's health bar. And unfortunately, I don't think VWS can make it over here fast enough, as now, Angry Pikachu, they've got the damage online. Xbalanque has 2 kills. Darzer, while he hasn't been hitting the ultimates he needs to, still has 2 kills. His crushes will still be absolutely devastating here. And the Gold Fury going over to the Angry Pikachus for free. Now the gold lead is less than 1,500. This is going to be Angry Pikachu's game to take back now. And VWS, they're now in the middle of a major struggle.
Yeah, VWS has to be really nervous right now. The gold leader they had, everything they had in their advantage just disappeared. And now all that's left is this team composition that you already were worried about, except now they've reached a point to where they're starting to feel really comfortable. The Fire Giant call is a bold call, but I really do think it is a smart call. And the question is it going to be sniffed out by Angry Pikachus? And Gab is acting as a huge distraction, but Khepri sniffs it out. He comes over, he's going to try and stop it. The Fire Giant is getting lower and lower. It's going to go over to VWS Gaming. They are able to secure the Fire Giant. Now they're turning around and trying to make a fight happen. Wlfy is able to take out the Pikachu. And is it going to be any more coming their way? Xbalanque is boxing with Wlfy on the backside. Gab throws the shield up to ensure his survival. Aphrodite doing the best she can to heal up and go for her teammates. And it is just a lot of damage coming out to Gab, but Undying Love is going to keep him alive. So only 1 kill going over to VWS Gaming. 2 kills as Darzer got caught out on the backside. And is Xbalanque going to fall the same way as he gets a little bit too greedy?
Yeah, they've got the flank here, Shadow Boy. Now they're going for the fire, actually, as Ducky keeping them zoned away. The Fire Giant will keep them ticking on. Ducky's so low on health right there. As Xbalanque raining death. The Bushy gets his killing spree right there. We're going to have to see a forced engagement from VWS here, but Zigox, he's sticking around a bit too much. Overconfidence, maybe the slow, insidious killer indeed here, as JacobHL taking so low. A quick interrupt from Wlfy onto BigManTingz here. As Shadow, they still want to fight right now. VWS, they're being hunted down by the Angry Pikachu, who don't want to stop. They don't want to give up, and now they're pushing for an advantage of their own right here, going for a tower. They want to make up for that last fight here, Shadow Boy, and I think they could do it here, but they might overstay the welcome. Bushy bursted down quite hard despite the ages. A quick blink in from JacobHL, but the ultra from Khepri will buy time and lives here. Pikachu up in the air, and the fight might turn on its head as he dunks down. JacobHL caught out incredible low right there, but Wlfy going to dodge away, forcing the Pikachu out. We're going to see Bushy so low. He needs some healing as soon as he can, but I think the disengage should come out here now.
Yeah, I mean, they took as much as they could and moved on. They lost the Fire Giant. Still Xbalanque showing Xbalanque traits, as well as the Aphrodite and the Khepri, just showing how powerful they are in the late game. If you can't kill my carries, it doesn't matter if you're ahead.
And especially with a big Fire Giant play like that, VWS Gaming, Angry Pikachus are making them struggle for every inch here, and every inch they might struggle for anyway. Angry Pikachu, we're going to see JustLofes get caught out here, but the Darzer Knights will come through to set up a massive team fight. FleuryQ did drop the cage, but that's a major healing reduction cooldown down. Wlfy leading the charge here with the Pikachu in tow as well. They're all grouped up as 5, so this could be a major turnaround if VWS find their way in, find a way to a Cataclysm, but their health bar not quite where they want them to be. They want the item side of VWS Gaming right now. They need those extra advantages. They're just going to back off, let that Fire Giant tick down a bit, but Angry Pikachu's going to push them away from their Phoenix at least, which is what they need to do right now.
How many times can you say, honestly and full-heartedly, yeah, we're chasing this team that had Fire Giant? Yeah, that's exactly what we saw. Angry Pikachu's just chased the team with Fire Giant.
I mean, their team comp is so terrifying right now that even with Fire Giant, even with disadvantages, VWS have to fight. They have to claw for every single inch they want to get at this point. And after this, Angry Pikachus, they can simply start turning around and firing back bolts of just pure death right now. And that's the one thing that lets them just chase through against the Fire Giant team. It's so rare, but they're playing this so well, and they know the strength of their composition. So I have to say, really well played by the Pikachus so far.
Yeah, Pikachu knows that they have the advantage right now, and they are going to go ahead and push the issue. They have every right to do so, and I expect to see that they're going to, if anything, probably look to make the play as the aggressor here as soon as this Fire Giant wears off. But for the meantime, they can't necessarily do that. So they're just going to go ahead, wait out this Fire Giant, and take any opportunity they can get.
Yeah, and they're doing exactly what they need to do against a team that has a Fire Giant. They're making VWS struggle for every inch, like I said. Angry Pikachus, they know they can't make the miracle play just yet, so they're going to wait it out. They're going to keep them away from most of the major towers and stuff, and they're only going to lose a few towers off the back of this engagement here. Their Phoenixes are all still alive, but JacobHL wants to make something different happen. Goes for the blink here as Pikachu now in the air. They don't see him off the back. He could come crashing down very nearby, but he lands on FleuryQ inside the cage. Darzer so low. Will get out with the Khepri ultimate still ticking on. Now BigManTingz in the middle of a danger zone here. Bushy finds Ducky, and now Bushy is pushing forward. He's got so much damage. FleuryQ, he's low on health. He's got the shield ticking on. Now Zigox exposed to the damage of Angry Pikachus right now. Wlfy will escape, but he's right in the line of fire. But I'm a monster. Darzer chasing. Darzer on point, but the shield is even more on point as the Bushy claims his second kill with the unofficial double. The double trouble coming on through as this tower now fully exposed for VWS. Angry Pikachu ready to shred and roll. The health bars are so low, and the Fire Giant is down. and the fight that could have made it work, the fight that could have won VWS the game, turned so sour that now they might be in dire straits. Despite the fact they've got the 2,000 gold lead, it's not going to matter against this team that has come completely online now.
Yeah, now it's become an issue of how do we stop this healing, how do we stop this damage, how do we stop everything. And, you know, they have a lot of the tools that they needed. They have the Pestilence on their Sun Wukong, they have the, you know, anti-heal, Awakening Curse on their Geb. They're still going to need more, though. That's the unfortunate bit. And the only active slot left is that of Noxus. So, I have seen crazier things, but I think that we might be talking about a Nox with an anti-heal Weakening Curse, because the Odin Cage is not enough. The Weakening Curse is not enough. The Pestilence is not enough. Getting to another Weakening Curse might be what's necessary, but the Fire Giant is going to be the next contention point, as it looks like VWS thinks that that's the only chance they have to stay in the game, is to go ahead and go for another Fire Giant call, and unfortunately, this time it's going to be sniffed out a lot sooner than last.
At this point, VWS need to make some major bold plays here. Like we said, Shadowboy, victory will go to the bold this game, and that is definitely the case here for VWS Gaming with the Angry Pikachu. Showing plenty of boldness of their own, going to walk in and just interrupt that Fire Giant just by showing a bit of presence here. Ducky wants to secure the presence for his team here, as his Mystical Mail will tick and get him a little bit of a slap fest from the Fire Giant, but you know, a boulder or two is something you can survive when you're this tanky on Wukong. I get the feeling, though, Shadowboy, we're going to be seeing an incredibly long slugfest. This game is, I have to agree with you, I'd like to see some extra anti-heal out of Nox. That's the only place you can really put it right now. And now, VWS is going to start this up. This could be big, though, as the rest of the Angry Pikachu line up there around the corner. Zigox getting bursted down so hard here, as FleuryQ going to light this one up with a cane. Thor airborne, Zigox exposed, but he'll crash into Wlfy. Start the spin to win here, as Wlfy's got him tethered up, chained out. Zigox hits the shield, trying to survive. Pikachu needs to be forced away here. He backs off just in time. The chase is not good, and now Zigox, he's still barely ticking on. He's waiting on the wings in this fight here, and he wants to find some more. A huge Odin detonation here, right into a massive cataclysm on the Angry Pikachu's right there, but they're still going to keep ticking on. The heals will come through from Aphrodite, as the Khepri ultimate has been used. The steroid is enough to keep the numbers ticking on now, as Pikachu, the only low one on his team right there, but Aphrodite will bring the heals. VWS forced away, but they're trying to pull Angry Pikachu into a false insecurity. They know the Fire Giant could be that sixth man they need in this team fight to bring the extra damage here, but they've got to make a play, and they've got to make it fast here. They are low on manpower, but the BigManTingz and Pikachu, they're getting in the way of this fight here. Fire Giant half health, a quick teleport in from Wlfy and Ducky. Ducky was riding on it with a Wlfy on his back here, but the fight breaking up. Bushyyy so low, if they pick him up, this could be big, but the Undying Love buys him life, and it buys the time. And now, over the top goes FleuryQ, one shot will do it, but a great stun from JustLofes right there will buy safety in time. The cage comes down, but Bushyyy is the one who claims the victim here. Ducky alone in the dark as BigManTingz absolutely shrouding his vision with his giant Khepri crab beetle right there, and he will make the escape here. Health bar still low, but VWS, they know they can't afford to stop fighting here. As Angry Pikachu gonna have to back off a little bit on some members, but they still got more than enough healing, more than enough damage to stick around this Fire Giant. They can't let VWS walk away here, and VWS know they can't afford to leave either. The Bushyyy gets bursted down so hard. The age is a bit late there, but still gonna survive.
Man, I think that was just such a back and forth scenario. I didn't know exactly who was going to win, because it just kept going and going and going. Aphrodite was keeping the heals coming. A lot of burst damage was being just pumped out by Odin and members. VWS Gaming still has such a hard objective ahead of them, because now Xbalanque has all stacks. He's still got one more item to throw onto his person, and then he's going to start two-shotting people. And then on top of all that, Aphrodite plus Khepri is keeping him alive. Meanwhile, Scylla really hasn't hit her stride just yet, but she's not too far from doing so.
Yeah, she's not too far from it at all, as Darzer will become a monstrosity soon enough, living up to the name, the Tiny Terror. And unfortunately, the Angry Pikachus, they've got the books on their corner, they've got the ball in their court, and they've got plenty of ways to pass it about wherever they want to. But VWS Gaming, they are not going to give up without a little bit of offense and a little bit of defense here, as they're sprinkling around the backside, waiting for Angry Pikachus to make one misstep, one misplay, one wrong positioning error right here. VWS will be there to pounce and strike here, and Fire Giant might be this major moment here. Shadowboy, I think this could be the game-deciding fight right here. Is BigManTingz, he's got the zone out coming through. They're trying to burst on the Fire Giant, but it's burning slowly here, and the fight will break out. Darzer Match comes on through. Pikachu up in the air, waiting for his targets here, but VWS, they're trying to bait out the cooldowns and just force him to blow everything they don't want here. Now Ducky back up in the air. JacobHL still has the Cataclysm cage, still online. He blinks in, finds a 3-man Cataclysm, but the shockwave not enough. There's no real follow-up just yet, but they are forcing Darzer to back away here. FleuryQ will find his way into a massive fight. The dunk down, Bushyyy so low. He's got no age, but he does have the Undying Love. He's got Khepri ultimate as well. There's no stopping him. He's got to make his way out the back. As Pikachu low as well. VWS finding the perfect fight as the Thor will divide the rest of Angry Pikachus away from the doing so much damage right there. As FleuryQ taken down to just fuel. He needs to run away. As Darzer, he still wants to find his opportunity. Nobody able to find a discernible advantage here. As the Angry Pikachus, they're so low, they've got to leave. But Darzer has bought the time. He's bought the pressure. That's not done though. Zigox waiting around the corner. Angry Pikachu, they're taking a huge risk right here. But the rest of BWS, Zigox, he's going to make it. He finds the kill on the Pikachu right there. As the rest of BWS, they're joining the party. And now, BWS, they want blood, they want revenge. But Angry Pikachu, they've got backup here as everybody rejoining the fight. Everybody going to reset this one. And we're back to a deadly 4 versus 4. And I don't think this is going to end anytime soon, Shadow Boy. So it looks like BWS, they want it, but they can't find the crack in the shell. They can't find the chink in the armor. They're going to back off just a little bit, but still keep the pressure.
I mean, it's just so frustrating as the other team if you have to sit here the whole time and say, come on, we're so close to getting the Fire Giant, just get that little push.
Every time too! And they're going for it right now. Bushyyy caught out in the middle of the cage. He's got the Undying Love, and he's got Khepri nearby, so this won't be the kill. They're going on to Bushyyy as best they can, forcing out both ultimates right there. A little bit of miscommunication. I'm a monster not finding any target right there. Ducky's so low in the middle of the death zone. Darzer will finish him up, and Zigox will find Bushyyy right there. Now Wlfy walking down low. This could be it. HL will roll on through as Wlfy secures that last bit of damage. Zigox doing way too much, and he's back in base here as Wlfy trying to secure BigManTingz. Q will block the damage from Darzer right there, but Darzer, he knows he's got the pressure. He knows he got the damage. If BigManTingz can lock down a single target, Darzer will secure the kill here. But Wlfy, he's incredibly low. So is FleuryQ. Darzer trying to leap on forward. Will not find the root, but does find the crux. He's 1 or 2 autos away from securing the kill here, but he's in the middle of a deadly situation. Zigox looking for the stun. He roots him out. Darzer, he knows he's almost down, and FleuryQ will secure it despite being low and on fumes right there. JacobHL though will lose his life to the Pikachu. As once again, this fight back in a position where nobody can secure the Fire Giant. Nobody can secure the kills. They've got to leave right now.
I mean, again, just a constant battle for the Fire Giant. The gold's the same, kills are the same, everybody's at a pretty even point in the game, but no one can get this Fire Giant.
Nobody can get it. Nobody at all right now. They always lose something there. There's always something too much lost, and there's too much damage left over on the side of the other fight. There's always just enough pressure left over for VWS or Angry Pikachus. And now, I think VWS, they want to make an attempt here. They have the damage to burn through it, but like I said, Angry Pikachus, they're right around the corner. We're going to see a repeat of the past 5 minutes. Once again, Shadow Boy, or maybe not here, as the Fire Giant burning incredibly fast. Pikachu low to the party cage, keeping them out, but they find a way on through. Thor up in the air, they're going to go for VWS. Look at the Fire Giant, but Thor jumps out on the 3. There we go. At what cost is the question here? VWS going to get the escape here. It's Ducky, incredibly low, but out of the party. Zigox going to be looking to escape from the Fire Giant here. If they can get some kills, this will be a work play from Angry Pikachus, but Zigox, he's going to escape. They're all going to escape with the Fire Giant, and finally, somebody gets the Fire Giant and doesn't lose a thing, but they're going to lose towers here. VWS, they get the Fire Giant, but they're losing pressure right here.
Yeah, they're not getting away scot-free. I mean, they did lose a tower. However, getting the Fire Giant still a huge win, but I don't know if that's necessarily enough for VWS Gaming to just outdo their opponents. I think that, if anything, they're probably going to have to turn around and make very sound decisions just to be able to keep themselves relevant in that regard. So, while I do enjoy the fact that they did get the Fire Giant, they're still on an uphill battle.
It's still an uphill battle for both teams, but we've seen that VWS will not give up without a fight. They know the pressure points to attack in these team fights for the Angry Pikachus. So the Angry Pikachus don't have that surefire thing like a hell, especially with single target Aphrodite healing. And VWS has been fighting these fights absolutely perfect. They played lights out in this late game here. They know they can just pick apart the right point, force out the revival, just force out the team fight resets here. As we're getting to this late game, level 20 is reached. We're going to see XP meaning absolutely nothing in the next few minutes. Final item build being finished off for the major carries. So we're coming to the point where it's all skill. It's all going to be who finds that major play, who makes the first mistake, or who makes that major outplay, Shadow Boy. And I love it when the games reach these points.
Oh, I mean, we all love it. It's going to be completely a late game based thing. It's no longer the snowball game or, you know, the who has the better early presence to mid presence, and then it's so far behind in the late game that you can't really make a functional play. It's all about who's going to make the correct decisions now, because that's what we saw for the last 10 minutes at the Fire Giant Dance of Death, and now we're seeing that in this instance where Angry Pikachu's not sure exactly how to crack the egg, but they know they have to.
They know they have to. They know that both teams, they just got so many shells around them, so many defensive postures. We're down to the Phoenixes. Whoever can crack through these Phoenixes will likely have the big advantage of this game and likely to follow through with it. The problem is, these Phoenixes, they're so hard to break when the teams around them are these massive 6-item teams. Nox just needs one more item for that major Rod Hoodie, which will be a massive luxury item and a massive spike in her damage. Zigox, he's got all the major credits online. He's going for that last luxury bit of, I believe, a Hasten Fatalis from the look of it, possibly.
Yeah,
so he's going to be hard to lock down in these fights as well.
Hasten Fatalis is just for the extra mobility and
these teams are just getting these final luxury items to make them either harder to lock down or these big damage threats. At the same time, Xbalanque, he's going to get that Deathbringer, so we're going to see people getting 2 shots soon. This is going to be a very dangerous position for both teams, honestly, as these games tremble on a knife's edge right now. Either way, we're going to see things calm down a bit, actually. Sorry, Shadow Boy, they want to fight as soon as you want to start talking, it seems. And Darzer, well, actually going to get the full disengage. His Cataclysm not doing too much. But the pressure is set, and the glove is dropped down at their feet here. As Ducky going airborne here. Darkseid's Knight's coming down. Thor up in the air. Thor coming down. Right on the Zigox here. The target they want shielded, but can't. Will get the shield up. Ducky doing a great job of harassing Darzer in the back line, forcing out some major damage threat right around the Phoenix. They finally check the shell as FleuryQ wants to fight. He sets up the cage, and now Zigox will get the kill with the bounce right there. Need to evacuate though, as there's still tons of threats here. Zigox going to get obliterated by JustLofes right there. But the monster not quite landing as JacobHL needs to get his retreat here, but FleuryQ and Ducky so low. We will see JustLofes trying to find the stun here, but he can't quite find it as Odin is already airborne. But TheBushyyy still chasing. They're going for the flank instead. Wlfy incredibly low here. Stun will connect. Darzer finds the cross. He finds the kill. And JacobHL next to fall. They got the Phoenix, but at what cost once again here? They lose 3 members inside of VWS Gaming, Shadow Boy. Now the Angry Pikachus, they're in position to set this game back in their favor again.
And they're going to try and push down this Mill Phoenix. They have the damage potential to do so. They have Xbalanque, they have Aphrodite, they have Thor to tank up the objective a little bit. He's pretty tanky right now. If you look at his build, he's got a Spirit Robe into a Steel Mail, so he's got enough defenses to allow for his team to take this, especially with Xbalanque just hurting that feet. I don't know if Odin realizes that he can still auto-attack the Phoenix there, but it ended up with him getting killed and actually still losing the Phoenix, I believe so, unless barring any kind of huge mistakes there. And they might actually go for another one.
Yeah, they might go for another one, and they've got the they want to make it happen here. There's only 2 members of VWS Gaming alive here, and just like that, a Phoenix falls on one side, another will fall in the end. This game is the definition of a scale right here. Somebody loses something, the other team takes it right back. This has been one of the most back-and-forth games we've seen all Challengers Cup, I have to say.
Yeah, and Fire Giant back up again, so I don't know if you are ready for the next Fire Giant Dance of Death, but it's gonna happen because there's no lanes that are getting pushed up because of just fire creeps without, you know, an opposing side of fire creeps, and so it's realistically speaking just gonna be the next team to make a mistake that is actually gonna get punished, and Fire Giant picked up. You know, I think if you are Angry Pikachus, you feel a little bit more comfortable because you had to deal with the other team having Fire Giant every time this game.
Yeah, the pressure has reached the ultimate point in this game. Everybody full build now. Fire Giant online here. This is going to be big here, and nobody needs to get caught here. Nobody can get caught out of line here. Wards are set up here. The vision control is currently in favor of VWS here, but the flank could be what they want. We could see a pick on the FleuryQ right here, but that might not be enough here as the wall will catch. He's got to leap away. Things are fine for now.
So pings come out around the Wlfy entrance. It's a key point in terms of knowing exactly where the team is. Oh my goodness. They are going for the big boy plays. They're going for the big boy plays. They don't want to try and go for the extended battle.
This is going to be the way to do it here.
Smell it.
The Fire Giant, but Angry Pikachus, they know what's happening. They've got to back off here, but their Titan is under attack. They've got the damage and the pressure here, but unfortunately it's too late here. They're not going to back off in time. Angry Pikachus making the perfect call here, and just like that, after a long drawn-out game, VWS will pull this game back from the brink, but could have been the Angry Pikachu scaling up, will be defeated in the last minute by a quick backdoor play from VWS Gaming. And 43 minutes in, VWS, after the long fought, long struggle, what could have been a devastating defeat in the late game, will pull out the last-minute victory. GG, well played.
I mean, there's nothing really more to say there. That's just incredible decision-making. You didn't want to sit here and try and box these guys anymore because you knew that there was no potential to do so. There was no win there for you. So rather than doing that, they went for the very, very high-risk, high-reward play of saying, all right, well, hopefully they have no vision here, because if they do, we're screwed in this idea, but screw it. What do we got to lose? And they went for it. VWS... my hat's off to you. Good play.
What a play from them. And as we said earlier, Shadow Boy, victory will go to the bold this tournament. And just like that, VWS will prove themselves the team to pull this one away here. A close game, and I can't wait to see these teams meet up once again. But unfortunately, we got to move on to the next game. Hopefully it lives up to this one because it's got a big pair of shoes to fill. We'll be right back with the EU Challengers Cup with the first semifinal matchup of the day. Don't go anywhere. This is the EU Challenger Cup brought to you by Tier Monster and Smite Game High-Res Studios. We'll see you in a few minutes.